Hey und herzlich willkommen zu Noisiv Interviews. Wir haben heute mit Rufus gesprochen, die Mitte März hier in Hamburg gespielt haben. Wir haben sie vor dem Konzert getroffen und mit ihnen ein bisschen geplaudert. Mehr dazu seht ihr jetzt.
Hey.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good.
Very well.
Just
very
rolled
well.
into Hamburg.
Yeah, welcome to Hamburg. First off, congratulations on your amazing LP, Bloom.
Thank you.
I understand you wrote the record in Berlin, right?
Yeah, we actually started the writing process while we were touring around Europe about a year and a half ago, and that found us with about 2 months of spare time, and we knew we wanted to write somewhere overseas or in a new location for us, since we wrote the first record on the coast of Australia, and we just loved Berlin from previous visits, so we set up shop there in a little Airbnb, and yeah, it was the perfect, little location and perfect situation in terms of the music that we were listening to. Yeah.
Yeah, and how's it like to perform it in the very same sort of new country you've wrote it in?
Yeah, it's been pretty special coming back here and being able to play the songs that we originally, started writing here. And we've been saying that at the shows, and just the feeling of some of the more German and European inspired songs who just like are really connecting with the people here. Well, it feels like that anyway, so it's good.
Yeah, so I guess it's definitely different for you guys to come back to Germany this time as it was when you released Atlas, right?
Yeah, I think it is. It is really different. I think one thing that I've been really enjoying is this feeling of it. It's almost like coming full circle, like the start of the process of creation of these songs, and now coming back with the finished record with people who seem to know the words to the songs at the shows, which is pretty crazy for us. It's a nice feeling of, this cycle that's just been completed in a weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of all the cities you had to choose from, you chose Berlin. Why was it Berlin?
I guess first and foremost, we just liked the city. We'd had the opportunity to come and visit, and we fell in love with the place over a period of about 5 days whilst on tour. And I guess the main thing that we fell in love with was just the way that how free and expressive the culture was there. Walking around shops, everyone's so enthusiastic about their creative industry or whatever it may be, and the actual music and stuff we were hearing everywhere as well was just so inspiring, and that really took effect when we were writing the album.
Yeah, so it definitely inspired your writing process, I guess, in a big way, right?
Yeah, particularly sonically, we were hearing a lot of spatial awareness and depth and attention to detail in areas that we hadn't really explored, or we just, were keen to explore more of on this album, and we put a lot of work into that, and was just basically because we were hearing it everywhere while we were here.
Yeah. Speaking of areas, in Berlin, when you were living there for 2 months, where did you spend most time? Where did you go to?
Well, we were living in a little Airbnb in Friedrichshain, and so for us, everything we wanted was in that area. There were so many venues and clubs, within a 5-minute walk. Like Watergate and Berghain were pretty close.
Yeah, nice.
So we spent a lot of time, even, we'd be writing until maybe 2 or 3 a.m. And maybe we'd be burnt out from writing, so we'd go to a club and just get some inspiration and just have a dance.
Awesome.
For like 3 hours. So it was a pretty perfect situation for us. Yeah.
Did you learn any German along the way?
Yeah, we learnt some buzzwords. Frühstück.
Nice.
Das Frühstück?
Yeah,
Der-
that's Frühstück, yeah. Like
das Frühstück.
stuff we got here on the table.
Der Mädchen?
Das Mädchen, yeah.
Das Mädchen.
Right.
All the masculine and feminine. I don't get it. What else? Dankeschön. Dankeschön.
Dankeschön, right?
Dankeschön. Yeah, extremely
Pretty
basic.
We actually spent a lot of time just in our Airbnb, like in our apartment,
Yeah.
pretty isolated.
Yeah.
So any connection or interaction with Germaners.
Humans in general. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also great to do that when you're away, just to get inside yourself, I guess, and learn
Yeah.
a bit more about yourself.
Yeah.
What's the most Berlin track you would say on the new album?
For me, I think it would be Inner Bloom, which is it's a 9-minute epic, and that for me, and I think for all of us, summarizes the feeling of a lot of the songs we're hearing over there, and even just the length of it and the fact that it takes its time and allows you to, you know, take yourself on a little journey in your mind. Yeah.
You need to explain it to me. It's one of the best tracks I've heard this year, and I'm sure you heard it several times by now, but I've heard that you recorded this one after you actually finished the record, right? What's it about?
It's one of the last songs we wrote on the record, and we actually wrote it in a very short amount of time. It came out very organically and very naturally. Yeah. But I guess what it's about, it's that feeling of totally letting go, which for us was a pretty important theme on the record, especially, you know, we were touring and traveling so much leading up to the writing process that I think that was a pretty important thing for us, was that ability to let go, or the need to let go, and before coming back to what we would call home.
Yeah, and I think that at the time, in terms of what you were saying before about it being at the end of the record, we'd just written what we felt was the body of the record, and there was no pressure to write anything maybe before we were trying to fill gaps in the album, but we're just having fun writing music, and that just came out of that pure indulgence and fun in the studio.
Yeah, I love those kind of stories. I mean, a song like Give It Away from Red Hot Chili Peppers was also written after they finished the record. I guess all that relief that comes with it also feeds the album in the end, I guess. Yeah. How's it different performing here than in Australia?
Well, in Australia we're playing to a few more people now. We've been working at it for years, playing shows around Australia. And so I guess by that pure fact, there's a lot more people that know the songs. But here there's just what seems to be a real growth, in the same way that when we first started in Australia, an excitement. And I guess it's pretty cool just watching the new crowds, new reactions to the material that we've been playing for a while, and all this new stuff as well.
Yeah, do you think it's kind of a chance to reinvent yourself in a way? I mean, they listen to it for the very first time maybe, and these are old songs and you discovered them in your way. Is there something like that sort of connection that you feel?
Yeah, I think that's a really cool opportunity, playing to newer and fresher audiences, because we're always looking for ways to reinvent a song, or, you know, refresh the live show in some way for ourselves or for crowds. And having a crowd that doesn't know our material necessarily as much is a really good opportunity to bounce ideas back and forth between us and the audience.
Yeah. Last couple of questions, a bit softer ones. If your music would be in a movie, or if your music would be a movie, which one would it be?
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
No.
That would be something like.
That was a better answer. That was a better answer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tyrone.
Underworld, Kevin Costner.
I hate Kevin Costner. I hated Waterworld at once. Sorry, Kevin.
It was one of the biggest flops of all time.
Pun intended.
Yeah. But would you like to score a movie if there would be a chance to do it?
Yeah, that's definitely something we're open to. Actually, Tyrone scored a film recently. But it was just an indie project. But I think we'd all love to get involved with something where we could just get really indulgent and cinematic and flex our Hans Zimmer vibes, you know.
Yeah. Who would you like to work with? Last question. And where would you like to work on the next album? You've done Berlin now, so.
Yeah, I guess these are two questions that have been asked a lot and flying around in our own heads, particularly with where we want to write next. Yeah. And I think it's nice. It was pretty fun. It's sort of necessary to isolate ourselves in some way, I think, for a period of time. And I mean, it'd be awesome just to try somewhere else, somewhere new. It could be New York, it could be Thailand. I don't know. Just to be able to get away. Antarctica might be a bit cold. I think Berlin was cold enough for us. And who to work with? We always wanted to work with Trent Moeller, who was one of our biggest inspirations from the start. But it'd also be cool to work with
Nicholas Jar could be someone.
Oh.
We're huge fans of his productions, like
Yeah.
ever since Space's Only Noise and all of his other releases. Yeah, even just to pick someone's brain, like on their, you know, how they achieve the sounds that they're achieving and the space that they're achieving. Yeah.
I think Nicholas Jar is a good answer.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you guys for the interview.
Thank
Have a
you.
great show tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Danke schön.
Bye. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen. Wir hoffen, es hat euch gefallen. Ihr dürft uns natürlich auch gerne abonnieren. Wir haben auch für euch tolle Sessions im Programm. Wir haben für euch Interviews im Programm und natürlich auch den Noisive Podcast, den wir gerade für euch gestartet haben. Ihr dürft uns gerne ein Like auch dalassen. Wir freuen uns auf euch. Bis zum nächsten Mal.